Hey, what's up? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development. And the reason I started this podcast is because I want to try and help alleviate some of the suffering that's happening out there in silence for the people that are a little bit like how I used to be when I was a teenager growing up, maybe through elementary school, maybe through high school, and, just maybe not really knowing who to talk to, maybe how to use or how to put the words to the feelings that they're feeling, or really just how to start that conversation. And I think that a lot of the times when I was younger, had I had heard a lot of these messages, even if I had heard them or heard these exact same messages, but heard them in a different way, maybe it might not have resonated with me. But my goal is to just try and provide it in a way that, maybe I would have understood it a little bit better or resonated with me a little bit more, or maybe just will resonate with you a little bit better, or be able to just kind of get past, any, maybe perspectives that you have right now or perceptions that you have about these concepts, and just kind of be able to connect and be able to, like I said earlier, be able to let other people know that no matter what it is you're going through, you're not alone, and life can and will get better for you no matter what it is that you're dealing with or whatever it is you're going through, right? And so I hope everyone's having a good day so far, whether you're listening to this in the morning, like first thing in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're grocery shopping right now, or maybe working out, or maybe you're doing meal prep. I don't know, but no matter what it is that you're doing right now, I hope you're having a good day. And that is exactly what I wanted to talk about today, right? So not every single day is going to be a good day, but there is good in every day. That's like a Dr. Seuss quote that I heard from someone a long time ago, and it resonated with me. And it's, in my opinion, it's a pretty powerful quote. I've talked about it before on this podcast even, actually. But I think that, when gearing up for the day, if you, maybe plan your days ahead, or when you set your intentions for the day, whether that be the night before or for the morning that day, I think if you do so, then you can plan to have a good day. And I say that, and it sounds kind of cheesy or kind of silly, but, at the end of the day, every single one of our lives is filled with unpredictable circumstances every single day, right? I talked about when I went and tried to run a marathon, or I guess I did. I completed a marathon on Christmas Eve. The morning that I woke up, it had actually snowed. It didn't snow the day before. It snowed the morning of, me waking up and wanting to do a marathon. That was kind of an unforeseen circumstance that obviously is unpreferable. Like, you don't want that to be the case. Obviously, you don't want to be running in snow when you're trying to do a marathon for the first time. There's other things that are, maybe more obvious. Like, maybe you're under a highly stressful situation, you're under pressure at work, and you wake up one morning and you get in a massive fight with your parents. Something like that. Like, it's like another circumstance that maybe isn't planned out beforehand that you have to adapt to, or a new stressor or a new struggle that you have to adapt to, right? Every single one of our lives, like, I don't really have to explain this, but every single day there's something that we didn't really foresee happening, or we couldn't really even predict it to happen ever. We didn't think of them as possibilities, or we just it never really crossed our minds as something that we should prepare for, as something that we should, or might have to deal with. And I think that it's important to plan your days, or at least be as intentional with your living as possible, because even when you have those times where circumstances are a little bit fucked up or outside of your control, you can still plan to have as good of a day as possible. Because a lot of the time when I look back at, some of my days, even if I didn't achieve as much as I wanted to achieve, just being able to say, like, I did everything that I possibly could. I controlled everything I could have controlled. I put in my best effort. And if I know that to be the truth, and I know it to be 100% like to the T, like I fucking worked my ass off to make sure that every single thing that I planned on doing got done. And maybe there was some unforeseen circumstances. Maybe, maybe knock on wood, obviously, that I hope that this doesn't happen, but maybe you have some emergency in the family. Maybe you have something that goes wrong in your apartment building. Maybe you have anything, anything. That's exactly what I'm saying is any of these unforeseen circumstances could be them. I can't even think of them because they're so unforeseen, but you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Those times where, you're in a jam, it seems like you're in a hurry already. Like maybe you're 5 minutes late and you're like, okay, if I just maybe, skip a couple things in my routine, or maybe if I just rush a little bit more, then I can make it on time. But then there's always those one or two things that happen, and it's like, yeah. But I just think that if you plan ahead to make sure that you have a good day, no matter what, in terms of what you could focus your energy on, or when you think about controlling what you can control, just planning out, maybe even plotting out some of the things that are going to be within your power in the next day or two that you can use to your advantage, or just plan around to get done whatever you need to get done. So I kind of want to run you through like a couple examples, because there's different ways to kind of do this, whether you want to set like a to-do list for yourself, or you just kind of want to write write down in point form, or maybe you want to just make notes on your phone. Maybe you want to set reminders for yourself throughout the day. Maybe you want to set alarms or timers. Maybe you want to, maybe you want to just plan out the things that you could control. Like, so for example, like I'll try and run you through like a little bit of the things that I wanted to make sure that I got done today, so that I could ensure that I had a good day today. Right? So today it's Sunday, and that's typically like a rest and recovery day for me. So a couple of the priorities that I had were basically a little bit of upkeep with the podcast, making sure I had all my, posts this week ready to rock and roll. I had to make sure that I actually recorded a couple episodes today, so I did. I recorded one interview earlier today, and then I recorded this episode right now. And so some of the other things I had to make sure I got done were, I had to make sure I did a yoga class. I had to make sure another random fitness goal that I had today was to do 100 pull-ups before I did yoga. And then just other odds and ends, like getting my laundry done, getting my meal prep done. But essentially, I just mapped out what, a successful day today would look like. If I could control every single thing today, what would make today a perfect day, a good day, a day that I could look back on, when I go to bed at night and say, what, I'm proud of the way that I acted today, the way that I behaved today. I'm proud of the way that I spent my time. And I'm proud of the way that I kind of, just took, again, the purpose of today was supposed to be rest and recovery. So as long as I can look back and think, I took care of myself today in a pretty solid way, then that will make me proud. But just making sure that, different days might have different intentions, and you might have to plan your day accordingly. Some days you might have something that's a lot more rapid paced, high speed, and it requires a lot more attention, a lot more intention and attention. Some days might be like today where I'm just kind of chilling out. It's kind of more of like a rest and recovery day, and that's all right as well. But what I am saying is just kind of planning for your day and just mapping out maybe an intention to begin with, and then mapping out maybe some of the things that you could do to achieve that intention would make sure that you have a pretty solid day. And then even if you do have a bad day, you could reflect back on it, because sometimes we do just have those fucked up days where, maybe, like I said, you have like a family emergency, or maybe you have something that happens that maybe it's tragic. Maybe it fucking hurts. Maybe it brings you into a dark area of your life. Or maybe it just brings you into a dark headspace. And, when you have those days, your main concern isn't like getting everything done that you need to do, or, getting this massive checklist done. On those days, your priority is just to survive. It's just to push through it. It's just to get through the fucking day. Because you have those days where, and I've been there, where you have your head in your hands and it just fucking hurts. Everything hurts. Your heart hurts. Your head hurts, and and it's fucking dark and it's heavy. And on those days, like I said, you're not thinking about how to get the most out of your day or to maximize on all of your time. On those days, you're just thinking about pushing through and just fucking surviving. And like I said, if you're having one of those days right now and maybe you're listening to the rest of this podcast and you're like, fuck, this really isn't helping me because I just need to fucking push through today, that's fine, man. That's all right. You're not alone. It's important to acknowledge that, right? And maybe you're having a great day right now, and maybe that just kind of bummed you out and maybe darkened the mood. But I'm just saying, like, it's important to understand that this is just for your average day, for your typical day, when you want to make sure that you're having a good day. When you are having one of those dark days, really what you want to do is, you could look back on a to-do list, but what I would want to do personally is reflect back on some of my whys, maybe the purpose of doing what I'm doing that day. If I'm having a tough day, and, I have these days all the time, but say, for example, like I'm at work, like I'm, doing a renovation or I'm working in construction, right? So sometimes I have those days where I just can't focus on the task at hand. I'm and my mind's racing and I'm in a dark headspace. I try and think of, why I might want to push through that. I try and think of the possibilities that, maybe mastering my trade could bring me, or, just being able to generate some revenue in the future. If I have one of these dark times and, I have a family or people that rely on me, I'm building for that as well. And so, whatever your purpose is or whatever your reasons why you're doing what you're doing, that's just one for me. There's lots, but just kind of thinking about why you do what you do when you're having those dark days, when you just really can't, muster up the energy, the courage, the strength, the bravery to just keep pushing. Like, that's what you want to do, is basically be able to just center yourself and ground yourself and remember your why. Remember the purpose, why you're doing what you're doing, right? And then for everybody else, if you're having a good day right now, if you're feeling like, it's a purposeful, intentful day, then perhaps creating one of those to-do lists would be a good idea. If you're wrapping up your day as well, if you're at the end of your day right now, maybe you're driving home from work or the gym, whatever it could be, reflect back on your day and think to yourself, was it a good day? And think to yourself, what could have made it a good day? If you feel like I feel all the time, like you're maybe going to bed, and this happens a lot, around the new year, or it happens a lot around my birthday as well. I look back and I reflect and I think, like, did I do a good job? Am I proud of myself? And that could be on like a weekly level, a monthly level, a yearly level, or, on a daily level. You could reflect back and think, do I feel proud about what I've accomplished? Or do I feel proud of what I've done? Or, am I ashamed? Do I feel bad? And why might that be? If you have those negative emotions, don't run from it, but look into it and think, why might that be? Why could it be? Were you doing something that you feel like you should have possibly, you should have said no to? Were you, were you not doing the things you were supposed to do? Were you neglecting certain areas of your life? Were you neglecting certain people in your life? These are all things that, and it could be different every single time. Your priorities are going to change on a day-to-day basis. But at the end of the day, if you don't sit down and you don't plan on these things, or if you don't think about it with intent, it's going to be a mystery how you're going to feel every day. And, it's going to be a dice roll. And some days you might feel good and some days you might feel bad, but this is just a tool I use to kind of mitigate the bad days and try and make them as good as possible. And so that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on and kind of just spew my thoughts out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it brought you a new perspective. I hope it, at the very least entertained you. But that's all I got. Yeah. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, please do consider subscribing. If you're, watching this on YouTube, hit the comment section up. hit like. If you're listening to this on the podcast version, make sure you rate it 5 stars, leave a little review on Apple Podcasts. And if you are looking for a little community to join, if you're looking to get involved in a group that kind of has these types of conversations like around mental health, self-development, and just kind of improving maybe your circumstances or just learning a little bit more about self-care, I've definitely started a group recently about all of those things. And so you can join the WhatsApp conversation. We have daily conversations about all of these topics. And we also have a weekly call every single Saturday morning. And we have, like I said, a group Zoom call and just kind of chat about these types of things as well. And it's not just about my perspectives. We get to hear from a lot of other smarter people as well. So if that's something you're interested in joining, like I said, hit me up on Instagram. If you're watching the video version, it'll be at the bottom of the screen down here. If you're listening to the podcast version, it'll be in the show notes. It'll most likely be below this, but wherever the show notes are, you'll see it. It's at Mark D. Henriksen. Message me on Instagram if you want to join that group, or if you just want to follow along my mental health and my fitness journey. You'll be able to see it on a daily basis as well. But that's all I got. Thank you so much. Much love and peace out.